And thank you all for joining the session and managing the time mainly in the office hours. Today we will basically discuss about the XM Cloud Component Builder. I hope you all have some basic idea about XM Cloud, Sitecore XM Cloud. The component builder is a very interesting feature introduced by Sitecore in Sitecore XM Cloud. We will discuss about this into the entire session. So in today's session, we have the agenda that we will let you know about the speakers, me and Rohan. Then we will discuss about the XM Cloud overview and the types of components that is introduced by Sitecore XM Cloud. And then we will discuss our main topic, that is XM Cloud Component Builder. We give you some idea and the key benefits of that. Then definitely we'll try to show you a small demo on that, how you can create your first component using the component builder. And yes, after that we will do some discussion if you have any question. Um, Over to you, Ron.
Thanks, Kaushik. So yes, I think Vinod has already given my introduction. I'll give it again quickly. So I'm Rohan Damodar Kenkre. Have been awarded 4 times Sitecore Technology MVP. Currently serving as technical director at Texot. I like to write my thoughts in a form of blogs, and I share it on sitecorediaries.org. You can get it. I'm always open for networking and helping the community. So you can make or note down my social media handles. I'm available on LinkedIn, Kenkre-Rohan. And if you want to reach out to me on Twitter, it's Kenkre_Rohan. So that's me. Over to you, Kaushik.
Yeah, thanks, Ron. So myself, Koushik Mukherjee. I'm a Sitecore lead in LNG Consultancy LLP. Currently, I've done Sitecore certification, Sitecore 10 and XM Cloud certification. So I have also a technical blog, yeah, that is Koushik Mukherjee 83.blogspot.com. You can follow, you can actually, we can connect LinkedIn and Twitter also. This is my LinkedIn and Twitter account. Yeah, that's all for me. Rohan, over to you.
Yes, thanks, Kaushik. So before even jumping into XM Cloud overview, right, what I'll do is like we recently had a Sitecore symposium event organized by Sitecore. So if you have not got to the details like what was discussed, you can log into LinkedIn. You will see so many posts related to Sitecore symposium, right? So in that there was one tool or one roadmap that is shown by Sitecore is they will be supporting Sitecore XM and XP till 2032. So it is a long way to go. But below that, if you see what they are trying to do is even in XM XP, they will be introducing tool which help you to migrate to composable architecture or SaaS platforms. Okay. So the migration, they are trying to make it smoother. So what it does, they are trying to say is not today, not tomorrow, not 5 years down the line, but somewhere you will need to be ready to move to SaaS, right? So that's the push from Sitecore. And XM Cloud is the product for XM, which will be used in future, right? So it will get mature by then. Maybe today it's not mature enough, but it will get mature by then. So that is first thing we need to know, like why we'll be using XM Cloud or what is the idea of using XM Cloud, right? So whoever has been working with Sitecore for more than 5 years, now you might have a clarity that Sitecore, whenever you say Sitecore, there are a couple of tools, which is a prominent tool is your Sitecore XP, right? Experience platform that is further broken down into Sitecore experience management and experience database, right? So the experience management piece is nothing but a XM Cloud in a SaaS offering, right? So that's what the whole idea is. So if you see, you know what is Sitecore. What Sitecore XM Cloud is, it's a SaaS version of your CMS part of it. With that, it gives you a flexibility of doing something more than the CMS, but the prominent idea of XM Cloud is it is a CMS piece. Okay. Kaushik, can you move to the next slide? So now in today's webinar, what we are trying to do is we will be trying to focus more on the type of component and rather than type of component on the component builder. So there are a couple of interfaces that you might have seen in past in XM and XC, like it is only two or three, right? So content editor, experience editor, desktop. Desktop allows you to use both. So the component builder is a new interface in XM Cloud. That's what we will be seeing demos in. And the XM component builders talks mostly about components. So we are also covering the type of components in XM Cloud. So the first one is out of the box component. So with the name, you should understand that these are pre-configured components provided by Sitecore that require minimal setup. Okay. So these will include basic functionality like forms, navigation, and content reading, content rendering elements, right? So as a screenshot shows, these are the out of the box components. So you just plug and play, you just use it, you put the content in that, and that will render. Okay. So that is your out of the box component. Kaushik, next slide, please. So next are Sitecore components. Just with the naming, don't get mixed up about all these are Sitecore components, but they have specifically named this one as Sitecore components because they want to segregate it between the custom ones and the out of the box one, right? So these are custom components developed specifically using Sitecore framework. Okay, and platform capabilities. This can be tailored to meet specific content management or experience delivery needs. So these are mostly for your designers who can directly create it in the XM Cloud. Okay, so designers like how they work in Figma. At the same time, they can play around in the Sitecore in the XM Cloud and create these components. So this requires no development. This requires what I can say is no prior understanding of the things. The only thing will be they need to be accustomed with the XM Cloud dashboard. That's it. SXA components, right? So now SXA has been in a market more than again like more than 6 to 7 years now. So it is more than 10 years though, but like we have prominently started using it after 2018, I'll say. Like SXA is prominent, and with the version Sitecore 9 versions, it had started getting more and more mature. So since it has worked so well for Sitecore, it is also piece added to your XM Cloud. So it works the same way. Like you will have your templates, renderings, rendering variants, partials, all these things to make this component work, right? So here I'll say that these are created for reusable and pre-built component that accelerate the website development. Enabling, if you have seen the experience editor before, it enables you to drag and drop the capabilities for the layout, right, and design without needing deep technical expertise, right? I'm not saying zero technical expertise because SXA will need a developer to configure these components, but once these are configured, then the content authors don't need a technical expertise in that, right? They can directly reuse it on any of their pages. Next slide, please. And this is something new. If you have worked on Office 365 for SharePoint online, this is the same concept that we are using. So it is nothing but bring your own components. So what happens is this is a custom build. Mostly if you see in the screenshot what FEAAS is, front end as a service, right? So in front end as a service, we will be registering our own component and then we will be injecting the functionality that we need, right? So this is totally custom built component, typically developed by external. What when I say external developers, it means us, right? We are as a developer. It's not that Sitecore will provide us. This is something that once we start on an XM Cloud project, we as an external team will be building this. Okay, and then it can be integrated into XM Cloud to meet specific functional or design requirements behind what's offered by default. So it will give us an idea. Like we will first try to use the first three. If it's not possible to achieve the output in the first three options, Like if you don't think the out of the box will work or the Sitecore components will work, the designers that are done. So probably the first two, what I understand is mostly about content, right? It will not be more about integration with third party or something. The third one is a SXA one, so that is more technical. So if we can achieve something in that, then that's the third one. And if even if like in first three it's not possible, then this is the fourth option that Sitecore has given us. So these are the four types of components in XM Cloud. Yeah. So over to you, Kaushik.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Ron. So today we will mainly discuss about Sitecore XM Cloud component builders. I mean, where we do not need to do a coding. I mean, a single line without doing a single line of coding, you can build a component there into the XM Cloud. I can say that for a basic website, if we are creating a basic website there, let's say we have a banner, we have content there, we need to show images, which we mainly do in most of the sites. So that you can easily create those components using component builder, and you do not need to do any coding for that. So let me deep dive into it, that how we can do that. So I will show you definitely, we will show you a demo on that. But before that, let me inform you about the key benefits of those Sitecore components. First of all, it has an enhanced design system. So what you can do is that you can create a component, you can manage the design of the component, you can implement your own CSS there. You, as per the branding of your website, you can use those things. As per the screen size, you can do the responsive design there. So it has an enhanced design system. Second, API first approach. So it actually take the data from the API, site code APIs. I mean, also the data is decoupled from the component development lifecycle. You can provide the static data. You can get the data from the CMS, site code CMS. You can get the data from a third-party API or some JSON file. So that approach it has taken. Next is that there is low or no code approach. I can say it is mainly a no code approach because you do not need to do a single line of code while creating this component. It is mainly the configuration part. You need to configure, you need to design it, you need to use it, and you need to. Then the final part is that the data source, the flexible data source, you need to assign the data source from where it will take the data. By default, it is a static component, but we can change the data source. Like we can put the data source as a JSON data, a REST API, GraphQL. We can get the data from CMS. So these are the some of the benefits it's provide. The Sitecore component builder provide builder component. So the next part is let me show you how we can build our fast component using Sitecore component builder. So, please let me know if you can see my screen, and as a I'm actually currently logged in Sitecore Cloud. Can you see my screen?
Yes, Kaushik.
Right. So I hope you have the basic idea about these things because I'm currently logged in is the XM Cloud portal from where now you can actually create your XM Cloud site. So for demo purpose, I actually created one site, a tutorial site I created. Let's get it first. So I created this site, tutorial site, using the site creation method in the XM Cloud. And when I click on that, I can land into the page creation. I mean, we can create the pages into the site. So today our focus will be on creating the components, how we can create a component in a site. So for that, what you need to do is the XM Cloud. If you click here and go to the page builder, sorry, yeah, here it is in the site section. You have the top menu called sites, design library, content, analytics, and settings. Within the design library, we have the component builder. So if I click on components, we will land into the Sitecore XM Cloud component builder. So this is the screen where you will land. Here you can create your own components. So now how we can create our own component? Let me come from the basic thing. So it is recommended that you create your component within a specific collection. Add collection option is there. Why we should use the collection? Because we can have different types of components. We can have hundreds of components. So to manage it properly, it is recommended to add the collection, and within that you can create your own create your components there, so that we can manage it properly. Now I created one component for the demo purpose, that is called teaser component. How you can add a component? Click on add component. Pretty simple. You need to provide the name. If you want to change the collection, you can change the collection from here, from the drop down, and just save it. So it will create a component for you like this one. So now let me show you. After that, you will land into this page where you do not have anything but a bootstrap like design section to you, where you can design your component. So this is the area you will get to develop your component. And the Sitecore will provide you, the XM Cloud will provide you the elements which you can use to build your component. You can see there is one section that is called the name, the version name of the component. Why it is calling as version name? Because we can have multiple versions for the multiple screen resolutions. You can see there are options for the screens: extra large, large, medium, small, extra small. So we can have a single version of component for all the screen. We can have multiple versions of component for all the screen. So let's say I'm creating this component for the mobile version. Save it. So for the mobile version, I just deselect all and provide small and extra small for the mobile version. If I want to do it for the desktop or all the version, you need to select everything. See, I select everything there. Next, you need to add the element. So if you click on add element, you can see there are inbuilt out of the box elements provided by the site, which you can use here for the to create the components. So let's say I want to show an image. How I can do that? See, we have one image elements there. I can select it and I need to create append inside. So when I put append inside, the image will append inside the section. There is different options are there, like you can change the position of the image by clicking this reposition element. This is the image component. There are properties are there. I will show you what properties are there for the images. You can assign the source. This is the default image it is showing. You can assign the source, add caption, alternate text, and everything. You can provide the properties of the image. So see, first of all, I am actually selecting the section. Within the section, I put one image. Let's say I want to put some text, the teaser element. Click on add element. So put some text in a specific card, specific section. We need to add a card. It will actually help you to manage the, manage to compose the text over there proper manner, or arrange the text in proper manner. Here also you can change your dimension, your spacing. Uh, the rights. Here you can see the spacing, padding, gap, sides, and everything that you can manage here. You can provide the background image if you need anything. You can change the background color. You can change the style also. I mean, if you do not want any background color, white color you need, you can change the style there. So within the card, it is actually using as a component there. Now, within the component, you can add, let's say I want to show the heading. The SUG Pune. Welcome to SUG Pune. So you can add the heading. SUG Pune. Now you want to add some, let's say, summary section or some text. So you have option called paragraph. Append inside. It is this is a text. So here I actually created one component version, which is a teaser component with the static image, static text. I mean, you can in the image also you can put the image source. If you uploaded some images from your section, you can put some image source there. Uploading this, so you can see this is a static source image that is done. So this version you created. Now the version you created for all the, I mean, the screens, for all the screens. You can change it if you want to do it for the mobile version or for the desktop version, whatever design you need, you can do from here. The next important thing is that whenever you create one version for a component, you need to first stage it. Otherwise, this component will not available into the page. I mean, in the page, when you want to drag and drop the component, this will not available there. This version will not available there if you do not stage it. So you need to stage it. See, this one I actually staged previously. I created this one, I staged previously. So these are the static text. You can see I provided the static text there. This one. So the next important thing is that usually in the site or in the website, what we do, we actually fetch the text from the CMS. So how we can fetch or make it dynamic, that it will take the text from the CMS. To make it dynamic, what we need to do is that we need to create a data source. So here you can see we have title, description, and image. So you need to create a template for that. So right now I am in the content editor. So this is a similar content editor which we have in the XP version also or XM version. How we can go to the content editor? In the portal dashboard, you have the option content editor. If you click on that, you will land to the content editor page. So this is, I hope, is pretty familiar with you. Here you need to create the template as we usually do while doing the site code development. So in the feature, in the custom component, I created a template or teaser template. In the template, we have three fields: title, description, and photo. This is image, rich text box, and single line text box. The next thing is using that template, we need to create the data source. See, I created a data source also, teaser content data source. This one. Okay. I provide some title, description, and photo from the SUG website, teaser content. Now, the very important thing is that we created a data source template, we created a content, but how Sitecore will know that this data source is used for the component builder? For that, you must need to do a setting. If you go to the settings under the site, this site name is tutorial site. I showed you at the beginning. So under the site, we have option called settings. Into the settings, we can select in the FEAAS section that which template will used as a data source for the component builder. So there I selected these two. I created a couple of template there, feature webinar test teaser. I update these two as a selected for the component data source template. When I selected this as a component data source template, if I go to the component builder and try to set the data source for the component or for the image, let's say I want to add a data source for the image. Let me go to the image source. If I click on the image in the right hand side section, you will get the properties of the image where you can set the image source also. By default, it is static one. You can provide a static source, but our goal is to provide the dynamic data. So for that, you need to go to the map section. Now here you can map the data source. So first of all, what you need to choose for this component, I didn't choose any template yet. So first I need to choose a template. I'm choosing a teaser template. Next, this is the template name. You can see the one I selected here. Next. So now when I choose a template, it will show me all the fields I have, title, description, and see the source is highlighted. So it is recommending me to select the source. I click on source. See, I actually created this image into the content also. So that's why it is showing by default, but it will not show if I do not create any content. But for the demo purpose, I already created the content into the component folder as a you can say default content. So that's why in the data section I showed you previously. So that's why it is showing the data from here. Otherwise, it will show that it is only mapped. So the source is selected over here. Now, welcome to the SUG. Same thing I want to do for the text as well as for the description section. So let me select the heading. In the heading, here also you will see the static. I can map it. Now see, I do not need to select the template because I already selected the template for the component. Here I can put the title. Complete. See the title changed. Welcome to Sitecore User Group Pune. Initially it was written as Welcome to SUG Pune. Next is the description. Here also we can, I have couple of paragraph here. Let me just delete all the paragraph, put only one paragraph. And for this paragraph, I can change the source. Same thing, mapped the description. See the description is showing here. So this is actually coming from this content. So now, once that is done, I can click on restage and stage the component. So once this is staged, I can use this component into the pages. Now let me show you some important features of the while creating the component. These are some of the basic. So the basic thing I showed you over here, that creating a component, put the static text over there, you can change it as a dynamic text. You can create your own style also for the component. See, we have fonts. If you go to, just beside the component, you have option called styles. So as per your website branding or website requirement, you can add fonts. If you want to add fonts, you have option to add Google fonts as well as custom CSS fonts. Both options you have. So you can add fonts. You can add colors as per your branding. To different colors you can add as per your branding. You can add breakpoints. So this is basically yeah, I showed you that we have different screen size, large, medium, small. You can add your own screen size also, the breakpoints also. How it will work: extra large, large, medium, and small. So as per your requirement, as per your convenience for the website, you can change it or you can add some other breakpoints. Same is for the typographics. As per the branding, you can choose your typography, you can add it your own. So everything is customizable here. See, it's pretty simple. Provide the name of the typograph. You can select a font, whatever you actually, let me give a name, paste. You can select the font, say the font you added there, the Google font or your custom font, you can select here. You can add the settings. I mean, what will be the font size, the line height, how will be the case style and all. You can add your breakpoint, custom breakpoint, as well as you can add your custom CSS here. So as per the typography. Next, you can fields it. I mean the field color, the background color. It can be a gradient one or is see if I want to add it, you need to provide the paste color. So there you can provide the color, how it will behave, solid, gradient, none. What is the effect? If you want to add some custom CSS over there, that also you can do. In the color, you can add the CSS class name. What will be the class name for that? So everything you can do whenever you want to create a color. Same is for the spacing. You can add the spacing as per your need for the block, the inline one, or the images for text. See, for some elements also, you can add your own style, like text element, how the paragraph should look like, how the heading section. You can add your own um, styling here for the different heading or paragraph. For the inline elements, we have inline elements like button, link, badges. So that also you can add your own custom CSS, own uh, custom CSS or branding. For the block elements like the section, divs, cards, etc. And when you created all these things, the text element, how the design will look like for the text, for the inline section, for the block element, you can create your own themes also. While creating a themes, if I create a themes here, you can select the block elements. What are the block elements you will use? The inline elements and the text element. That specific theme you can assign to the components. So you do not, you do not need to assign style for every component, but what you can do, you can create your theme there for your website or for your branding and assign that theme to every component. It will work as per your theme selector. So this is a very important or customized things you can do there, the styling. Next important thing is data source. I show you that I can add the data source there. See, we have the Sitecore data source showing over here. Some of the data sources showing over here, the text, the template, as well as some of the fields. Now, suppose you do not want to fetch the data from CMS. You want to give the data source from a third party or outside CMS. What you can do, see, you can create your own data source. You can provide data source name there. You can provide your JSON data source. Suppose you want to paste some static JSON there, and from where you want to get the data, you want to fetch it from a URL. See, you can provide the URL. I mean, from where it will take the dynamic data, a JSON data, or you can fetch from GraphQL. So this flexibility is there within the component builder from where you want to fetch the data source. So these are some of the basic things which we discussed, that how we can provide the styling for a component, how we can provide the data source to a component from the Sitecore CMS and outside. Now, uh, I created the component, I staged the component. Now I want to use it into a page. How I can do that? From the site, if you are into the site, if you click on the site, you will land to the pages of Sitecore XM Cloud. In the pages, you can create your own page. I created a page for the demo purpose, that is this one, about us page. This page actually I created. So if I click on preview, this is the page I created. Okay. Now, so added this, let me just delete it. Now, the component I created, I want to add here. How I can add a component into a page? See, just beside the tree, we have option called components, which we can use. Uh, these are the all available components we have. I saw that someone asked previously that what are the out of the box component available in XM Cloud. See the below one, that is page structure, page content, flow mode, text box title, navigation, image. These are the out of the box component provided by XM Cloud. And the above one, that is for the collection I created, that is SUG Pune SUG collection template. Commerce one is also the out of the box. So this one I actually created using the component builder. So this is pretty simple. Just drag and drop here. So now you can, when you are dragging and dropping it, as this is not a static component, we are showing the data we are getting the data from the data source. So it will ask you to choose the data source. So let me choose it. It's teaser component. Why it is highlighted? Because I already assigned that from which template it should take the data. So it is highlighting all the, it will highlight all the content which actually using that particular template. For us, we have only one content, teaser content. I just assign it. So what it will do, it will show me the data. I click on view, is showing me the data over here. So we have some I mean dummy text here, so that we can manage from the text editor. But see, this content is showing with the dynamic data which we have in the content editor section. Okay. Now, if you change something, let's say if I change it a bit, it is changing over here also. So what the text is actually coming from that particular um, content that is I created in the content editor. Okay, so this is how you can create a component builder. You can assign the data source, you can styling that particular component builder, and how it works actually. So some basic idea I provided you. So that's all for the demo for today. And now we can, if you have any question, please let me know. We can discuss. I can see there are many questions there. So, Vinod, should I go the questions one by one?
Yeah, whichever.
Okay. The first of all, how many out of the box component I show you already that there are some out of the box component available over there. Mm, so those are default one provided by Sitecore. Next is how can we debug and check the component functionality in XM Cloud? See, our session is basically related to the component builder of Sitecore. I mean, where you do not need to do any coding. So this you do not have any options to do the debugging there. But if you are creating BYOC, I mean, bring your own component, where you can create your component in the React JS or something, some other tool you are using, there you can debug your component. But today's session, which we are actually discussing, there is no option to debug the component. At least I don't know if there is any option. Can we create complex component like a video player? See, as Rohan already informed in the initial discussion that we have different option in XM Cloud to create the components. So if you have complex component which you cannot do using the component builder, then you need to go for the bring your own component section where you can create your own custom component. Yes, it is possible to use create the carousel component, video player, any component you can create like you do in the headless. Say in the headless also you create your own components right there using the front end tool. Here also you can do. And that is called a PYOS, building your own component. That is not the component builder. But the basic components which we mainly used in the web application or website, let's say 70-80% components you can build from the component builder. So that will actually reduce your development effort. Next is how to authenticate external system while calling external data source. I already showed you that if you are calling one API, you need to provide the authentication detail over there. So like we usually call some other APIs, we provide the authentication detail. Here also you need to provide the authentication detail there. That using that you can maintain the security. Sorry. Can we use XSLT rendering in the XM Cloud, just plain text at the end and no programming needed for developing this component? Yes, no programming needed for developing this component builder. XSLT rendering, I'm not sure. Rohan, do you have any idea?
It's like
I
having
need to
some.
check it. I need to check
Yeah.
it. I'll get back to you. Any XSLT rendering, I'm not sure. But yes, you do not need to do any coding. While if you are creating a component using content Sitecore component builder, then you do not need to do any coding. As I show you how to troubleshoot if we are getting any issue in the component XM Cloud, you can clearly understand that what we are doing here in the component builder, there is very limited scope to get the issue because you are not doing any coding there. So, I mean, if there is any problem, then you need to raise it to the site code. I believe otherwise there should not be any issue. But yes, or if you are creating your own component, there can be issue, and there you need to do the debugging there in the in the in your component section. Yeah, then and you need to find out it. How can we reuse the components of one website into another website? See, this is a very interesting question. Let me just show you this thing. See, in the site section, you can create your multiple sites here. When I'm in the dashboard area in the XM Cloud. If we create an open app, you will come to the site section. In the site, you can create your own multiple site and see the component I created that is outside the site. So the component is accessible within these collections. I mean, if suppose we have 10 sites in a single collection and we created one component, which will be definitely for that collection only, then we can reuse those components. But please note that for the template, your site will be created within this. So within tutorial, but whatever site you are creating, you must need to add the template, data source template into the settings of the site. But yes, we can use those components for multiple sites. These are usable components. Next, does it require any code for REST data? You do not need to do that coding, but yes, you need to create the REST APIs as a developer from where you will get the data. So that you need to develop. CSS or any specific components maintained at the component level or in the center. As I show you that you can create the theme there at the end that you can add your styling, everything, and then you can create the styling for the block element, for the text element. So they are using those elements. You can create your own theme, which will be used throughout the site as per your branding. So you do not need to add the CSS styling for all the components, but yes, if you need to do some specific styling for the specific component, you can do that. Can it carry the external data source data into the component to avoid next call? By default, the data got cached. So if by default it got cached by the Sitecore XM Cloud, you do not need to do anything. How to develop image component? If you do not restage it or republish it, it will show you the previous data. So that's why it is getting cached every time. How to develop image component which adjust image size according to the device resolution and size. The device resolution you can manage from the component builder. I show you that large, extra large screen size you can provide there, and accordingly you can provide the data source also. whatever data source you want to assign there. For every version, let me please let me know if you can see that. Yes, screen is shared. So if I go to the component builder, you can add your you can add different version for the different screen resolution, and for every version you can change the data source. It is not that you just need to you can map it with different data source also. You can have multiple images, you can map with different images. So you can have multiple images for um, multiple versions. Custom elements, yes, you can create custom elements, but that is not the scope of this webinar. So we can definitely have a discussion later on this. We can create custom elements. How to inherit partial design from existing component to new inherit partial design. See, partial design you can create for the pages. Say, while creating a page, if I go to the page, sorry, template. See, here you can create partial design. Say the header section, the footer section, you can create, or two, three sections. You can using two, three sections, you can create a single partial design that you can use into the pages. But that is not available in the component, I believe. Only for the pages, you can create partial design, which you can use in the page designs as different sections. Upgrade to a smaller.
Kaushik, I can take this question. This is Pravin's, right? So, Pravin, the scenario that you have given, right? Customer is very good or love Sitecore IDE, but want to cut down on yearly cost. What is recommended approach? So, first of all, to make sure XM Cloud is not a cheap solution. Okay. So, the only thing is it's a SaaS offering. Again, as you have mentioned, it's like a JSS model, but we name it as headless, right? So you will have XM Cloud, then you will be having your APIs and you will be building your application. Now there are three things when you come to the cost, right? The existing thing can be, are you using XM or are you using XP? That will have a X amount. Then there are, when you say cost, the cost includes hosting, your implementation partner cost, operation cost, and Sitecore licensing. So the cost will not only be impacted using the Sitecore license. So the company or the customer who has a question, you will need to sit down with that customer, try to understand what solution they have today. When you compare it with XM Cloud, the things that you will need to see is again your implementation partner costing, your when you go for a Sitecore directly and ask what is a XM Cloud, they will not give you a direct license, a direct cost, right? They will ask you like what is your traffic, what are the things, how many hosting environments you need. So all these parameters will impact the cost. Sometimes the cost on maybe if you're just using on-prem or web app or platform as a service XM, that might be lesser than XM Cloud, or sometimes the XM Cloud might be lesser. That totally differs from case to case, right? Again, in future, you need to, when you're proposing or like you're going for your customer and going giving a recommendation, you need to think about next 5 years, right? So let's say when I say next 5 years, if you're going to, we are not only seeing the cost they will incur today, because like in near future, if they want to go into personalization, marketing automation, then any other third party integrations that you are going to do, maybe that is not readily available in XM Cloud, and your implementation partner might charge you more to implement that integration, right? Whereas the XM or XP on-prem might already have that connectivity built. So you will need to have that roadmap with you when you do any recommendations kind of this sort. So cost is not a direct parameter as of now, like whether you should go by XM or you should go by XM Cloud. It is one of the parameters, but the cost will always have three, four things rather than just the site core cost. Okay. Was I think my screen is stuck. I'm trying to Yeah. So Kaushik, I'll just narrate the next question to you. How to import custom fonts and use it for custom components. I think you have already
Yeah,
the screen open. Yeah, you can.
yes, I've already opened the screen. See, in the font section, you can use Google font. Also, you can add your customs font, as well as there is option to fetch the font from a URL. If you have fonts created in a specific CSS file, so that URL you can provide, it will get the fonts there. Next one is from Sudhir. How to move these custom components and custom style create using component builder to higher environments. Higher environments, I do not understand. If you are saying that in the pages, then I'm afraid we cannot do that because mm, this styling we are creating for the components only. So components level, you can use that. You can share the themes for all within the components, but as per my understanding or my knowledge, we cannot use these themes in the page level.
No, I mean to say, so you create a custom component and you created some new custom styles, right? So if you wanted to make it too high level, like production or any test environment, like how can we move that?
See, as I informed that sites, so here you can actually, what we do usually we create sites for the development environment, stage environment, production environment, all we created over here. Okay, so let's say this is for the dev, you created another site for stage, another one for production. So, but here what you are creating the component, the form that is for common purpose. So those components or styling you can use in default CMS as well as production CMS. So if you
Thank you.
create different sites,
Over.
can we provide the ID or class in these elements to make changes from JS? Uh, I mean, I'm not sure it's should work. The JS works with US, but I don't know this thing.
Hi, Kosik. My question is related to the component you created. So the element you put it over there. So I just want to know we can also provide the classes or ID over there so we can make changes from the JavaScript side.
Yes, yes, that definitely you can do. I mean, see, the CSS, the custom CSS we are creating. So whatever style you are creating or using the style, it is actually have a the CSS class name. So whenever you creating the CSS for the element, I mean, let's say you are using some typographic color, custom CSS, anything for the text element, inline element, or block element, if the class file name is created. So you can use this class file name in the JavaScript.
Thanks. Thanks, Kosik.
Thank you. Sitecore XM Cloud has any search module. Sitecore search is there. You can use Sitecore search, but XM Cloud by default, you are saying it within the CMS, you can search or not. If that is your question, within the CMS content, you can search.
Yeah, I mean, Kaushik, this is Praveen here again. So yeah, I
Yes.
mean, we wanted to let's take an example. We are having the tons of static data is available in our Sitecore content, CMS only, and
Mhm.
I mean, as we are talking about the cloud-based solution, SaaS-based solution. So is there
Mhm.
any search module is available wherein we can search the content from an XM cloud module to by using any search existing, I mean, any kind of a search module
Yes.
is available with XM.
See, for the public site, you need to use the site code search or something else. But in the CMS, we have the option to search it by default. Here you can see in the content editor as well as I believe in the pages also. If we go to the pages, Here also you can search the page.
My question,
CMS we
So
have also.
Praveen, your question is towards the public search,
yeah,
public
public.
site search.
Yeah.
So I think Azure AI search is a cheaper, or maybe I think Covio is also catching up. Uh, but Sitecore search is expensive than these two options. I'm not sure like if search stack has reached there. Like search stack uses like works very well with Sitecore XM and XP, pass or like the hosting like Sitecore managed cloud. But I'm not sure like how it works with the headless as of now.
Yeah, but then issue is there is like that we are using the Azure AI search there, but
Hmm.
then we need to sync up that Azure AI search with our content, whatever the content is there in our site core. So that is kind of a creating a pain. But then, yeah, I got the answer. Like, yeah,
But you can create a Azure function to have do that mapping, right? Or like I mean, do it periodically rather than you doing and manually going doing that.
yeah, that pipeline is already in place, but then
Hmm.
still it's stuck sometime, and
Yeah.
it's create a lot of challenges with the public website. Yeah.
Yeah, so see, the very well one that will work is Sitecore search. So they have found these pain points, and like obviously it's a see when there are two different systems that we channel using through APIs, there will be some pain that we need to raise. But Sitecore search, like this is like I've not used it in the project as of now, but that's the feedback that I've received even when we talk to different people who has implemented those, and it works very well. But the only thing is it's way expensive than these systems are.
Okay. Yeah, another thing is like that. I mean, they have used that Azure AI search for the recommendation engine like that. That's why I mean called as a AI. Nowadays, that
Yeah,
fancy word is on AI search, right? Yeah, that's
correct.
fine.
Yeah, it was
Okay.
same. Like it has matured enough from the Solar. Like even in Solar, we had something called Suggester, right? Like not much of the community was using it, but even if you see the Suggester was always there. Now it has come as a recommendation engine kind of thing.
Yeah, but then in Azure Search, one beauty is also there like that. It also track all the kind of what exactly the combinations, or you can say which keywords is getting searched and all.
Hmm.
So that that we can say the artificial intelligence, or you can say that
Correct.
data giving it back to the business to
Yeah.
marketing or something, and that's why I mean I was trying to really understand like that how the flavor of the artificial
Hmm.
plus all these things can get together by using the site for search or something. Yeah, I got the answer.
And
Many thanks.
yeah, it's altogether a new topic. Maybe I'll see if there is a speaker who can give a specific on that topic, but it's very well used automatically in Covio. Okay, so based on the searches, the keywords are boosted by itself, and then it is getting higher ranked when you search second time, kind of a thing.
Yeah, I mean we are using the Covio also, but then again this is a different customer, and then again straight away moving customer from Azure search to Covio search or
Correct.
something. You know that one there is a kind of hesitations out there. But then I got the answer. Like it will be the costlier as compared to the Azure and
Yeah.
other search. And yeah,
Yeah.
we many thanks.
Sure. So looking at the clock, I'd see there are a couple of more questions, but I'll take two more. Okay. So, Kaushik, a question for you. Let's say at
Mhm.
some point in future, if a custom component is not being used anymore, how to delete it and all the references of the redundant component?
Yes, I mean, if you stage one component, it is recommended or you need to archive it. You cannot delete it. You can see my screen that here you can you will get the option to archive it. Rest XM Cloud will manage automatically. While we are archiving, we can use, if you want to recover it, you can also do that. So if it is not staged yet, you can delete it. But if it is staged, then you can only archive it.
Sure. And last but not the least, but can we create swapper slider third party component JSS code? I didn't get this question. So Abhishek, can you unmute yourself and maybe reiterate this question for us, please?
Sure. Actually, I want to create a browser so using a swiper slider. So we need to code it in a headless forms in a JSS code in a Next.js and push to the Git. Then uh, we are able to see the component in a XM Cloud.
Okay, so I think Kaushik, what Abhishek question is he wants to create the carousel, and if they are doing it in the JSS, and will they be able to see it in XM Cloud? So I think this is one of the good example of bring your own component kind of thing,
Right.
right?
Right. Yes.
So Abhishek, so it will be like as we said, right? So let's say even if you're in headless, if you're doing it, let's say you might do it in Next.js or React.js, then you need to register it as a bring your own component. If you can open the PPT, Kaushik, and go to the bring your component screenshot, then you will need to register that component as front end as a under front end as a service, and then you'll be able to see it in the component builder. This one.
Can you share this screenshot on a chat so I will do myself and explore it?
Sure, we will share the slides also.
Okay.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
I
So I
believe
think
that's all.
yeah, I think we have looking at the time, I've just closed down on the answers, but we can note down the question and reach out with the answers later. So one more, Kaushik, you will need to do a favor. Since I am a co-founder at SUG Pune, I'll not be able to do it. You will need to choose two winners from the question category. Okay. Like whichever questions you like, right? So you can have two winners, and then maybe you can stop sharing, and then you will need to go to participant list, and then you can choose lucky winners, right? So can Kaushik, can we start from the question category, please?
Yes, this is the most difficult part, I believe. Yes.
Yes, I would have done it, but if I do it, then it people will say that I'm biased, right? I know most of these people personally, so I cannot choose them.
And I need to choose right now, right?
Yeah. You will need to choose
Okay.
right now so that everyone on a call can just know who is, and we will also need to get their emails to send them the vouchers. So Kaushik, you can just see
Yes,
whichever question you like. Sumit, right?
Sumit, yes.
Yeah, Sumit. And the second one, Sumit, please share your email ID in the chat.
Mm, Sumit and that's just Alex.
Alex. Okay. Okay. Sumit and Sumit has already shared. Alex, can you share your email ID in the chat? Okay. Now, Kaushik, switch to the participant list where you can see all the 16 participants, right? And what you do is you will need to select, you can select any two, but you cannot select me, Vinod, yourself, because
Mhm.
we are organizers and speakers. And then you cannot select Sumit and Alex because they have already won in question category. Except this five, you have option for 11 and you need to choose two of them.
Okay, two of them.
Yeah.
Praveen
Okay.
uh, and uh, Praveen and Mayank.
Praveen and Mayank. Okay.
Mm.
Praveen and Mayank, please share your email IDs in chat so that we can give you the gift vouchers. Okay. Thanks, everybody. And secondly, thanks, Vinod, for giving us an opportunity to present this topic at SUG Pune. And thank you, everyone. We really appreciate you taking out time and attending this in the middle of the weekend during the office time. So really appreciate your support here, and we will try to do our best to answer the questions that are in the chat. Thanks,
Yeah.
everyone.
Thank you very much for joining this session.
Thank you.
Thanks, Vinod, for the opportunity. Thank you. Bye.
Yep. Thank you, everyone.